Hey guys, welcome to the video. So one of the biggest problems with diets is that people get hungry, so just stop and so don't get results. What they don't realize is that losing weight is not about eating less food. It's about eating fewer calories. So you can actually eat more food and still lose weight. How do you do that? Stick around to find out. Right, so there's no denying a calorie is a calorie. And so eat more than your body needs and you'll put on weight, eat less than your body needs and you will lose weight, regardless of what foods these are coming from as well. However, the type of food you choose can influence your hunger. So if you eat calories from certain foods, you may be hungrier later in the day. So you may end up eating more as a consequence and overall eating more calories and not losing weight because of that. So how to stop feeling hungry on your diet? What are the best foods to eat? In pops the Satiety Index. So the Satiety Index was a study done on 38 different foods of how filling they are compared to white bread. So white bread is given a number of 100. So any food that is less filling, the number is under 100, and any food that is more filling, the number is over 100. So for example, something like cornflakes is a little bit more filling than white bread with 118. I've got them here. So donuts, a little bit less, 68. An apple, 197, so almost double as filling as white bread. And top of the list, potatoes, 323 it got. So basically potatoes are one of the most, or from this study anyway, filling foods per calorie. And what came bottom? A croissant. So a croissant is basically one of the least filling foods you can eat. Half as filling as white bread. So you'd have to eat double the calories to feel as full as if you had some white bread. So the Satiety Index basically gives you an easy way to look at a load of different foods and decide how filling is that food per calorie compared to other foods. So to expand on that list and explore some properties of the most filling foods, we can come up with like a list of what to look for when you are choosing food. So the first one is food volume. So the amount of food you're getting for the calories. So just to give you a really extreme example, a mushroom, this mushroom is 2 calories. So just note that size. So olive oil, a tablespoon of olive oil, probably be about 3 tablespoons for the same size of mushroom. So a tablespoon of olive oil has about 120 calories in it. So 120 by 3 times by 3 is 360. So for the same amount of olive oil as this mushroom, 2 calories versus 360. So that's what I mean by volume. So for the same size of food, how many calories are you getting in it? So you can see if you ate this much of olive oil, you'd be getting 360 calories. If you ate this much or if you ate this mushroom, you'd be getting 2 calories. So big difference there. So the next one is water content of food. So water has 0 calories and food with higher water contents add volume to your stomach and add weight to your stomach without adding calories. So they help keep you fuller as well. So the third one is protein. So protein has a huge impact on hunger, and there are loads of studies showing how increased protein intake can affect your hunger hormones. So having foods with more protein in them really improve your hunger and consistency with the diet. So that is things like lean meats, fish, eggs, and dairy. Vegetarian sources tend to be like legumes, like beans and lentils and things like that. But the animal sources are better because they are purer sources of protein. So you're basically getting more of it, so it has more of an effect. So the last one is fiber content of the food. So fiber adds bulk to the stomach, but also slows down emptying of the stomach and digestion. So that helps keep you fuller as well. So fiber is in lots of fruits and vegetables. So that's why it's advised to include lots of fruits and vegetables in your diet, as well as all the nutrients that brings you. So just to summarize that, it's just obvious whole foods like fruits, vegetables, and lean meats that you would see in the government's Eat Well plate. A lot of people criticize the Eat Well plate, but how many people are actually following it to any degree at all? So those fruits, those vegetables, those lean meats really help keep you full. And just a small note on water-based foods, so like drinks, maybe smoothies, they tend to have fewer calories for the size because there's a lot of water in there, which has 0 calories, and can make you feel full. However, because water empties from the stomach quicker, they can often make you feel hungrier quicker afterwards. And whether this applies to soups or not, we don't know, because there are studies showing both. So some people feel fuller for longer on soups, some people don't. So that's like just something you have to try out for yourself. So another way to rank how filling foods are and to help you lose weight is the fullness factor. So the fullness factor is a scale of 0 to 5, where foods with a 0 are not filling at all, and foods that are 5 are super filling. So pick a food with a fullness factor of 5 and you'll be much more satisfied than a food with a fullness factor of 1 by eating the same amount of calories. And the fullness factor was basically developed to overcome some of the limitations of the Satiety Index. So for example, some foods on the Satiety Index, people stopped eating, so they were deemed as full because of the blandness. So if you were given a food that was really bland, you may stop sooner, making them think you were full, than if the food was really nice and you loved it. So there were some limitations in that study. So with the fullness factor, generally foods with higher fat, higher sugar and higher starch content tend to be a lower fullness factor, whereas ones with more protein, more fiber and more water content tend to have a higher fullness factor. So basically, again, it's picking those whole foods and things that are obvious, like healthy things. And just an example, ice cream would be 1.8 on the fullness factor, whereas a carrot would be 3.8 for the same amount of calories of it. So on to psychology and how your brain can be tricked into thinking you're fuller than you actually are. So one study that I really love is the milkshake study. So this is basically a study where the researchers made a load of milkshakes. They were all 300 calories. However, they labeled some as low calorie and some as more calories. So some as diet milkshakes and some as indulgent milkshakes. Whereas actually they had the same amount of calories in. And they didn't just ask people how full they felt. They actually measured hunger hormones. So the hunger hormone ghrelin. And so the people that drank the milkshake, remember they're all 300 calories, labeled as diet, they were hungrier than the people that ate the one that was labeled as indulgent, even though they were all the same amount of calories. And when I say hungrier, I mean the hunger hormones change differently in each of those groups of people. So the people that had the diet one, they were left hungrier than the ones that had the indulgent one, even though they were exactly the same calories. So what does this tell you? Basically, if you are thinking about diets, if you are checking labels, if you are choosing diet foods over normal versions of foods, then there's a possibility that you're going to be hungrier than if you didn't. So this thing about a diet mindset and thinking you're on a diet has a big impact on how hungry you are, proven by that study. So you can literally change your metabolism or how hungry you are with your mind and how you think. So this is a huge thing for a lot of people because they live this diet life of I'm being really good, I'm choosing these products, I'm choosing the low calorie versions, but doing that actually makes you hungrier. And we have to consider emotional eating as well. So those urges and cravings that aren't hunger, but you want something. And so this is kind of violating your decisions and your goals. So you think, yes, I'm going to eat this certain thing and I want to be really good with this. But then you have these urges and cravings and you kind of can't stop yourself. So you end up eating more than you wanted, not because of hunger, because of these foods you're craving. And these tend to be low satiety and low fullness factor index foods. So you can generally eat more of them as well. And that, again, that will lead to weight gain because, you're eating loads more calories than you want to, really. And this is something I work on a lot with my clients. So if you feel that you have a problem with this, if this is something you want to have a chat about, feel free to send me a message as well. So just quickly, how should you eat to lose weight? So basically following a structure that allows you to choose foods that you like that follows the food satiety and fullness factor index. So the filling food, so you are full, but also life is worth living, right? So including some flexibility of those things that you really do enjoy, that those things that maybe appear further down on those indexes that you consider a bit naughty, but you must eat them to enjoy life. So having those things is so important and not cutting them out. And if you would like some free help of how to do this, I have my free guide in the description below, so feel free to download that. But for now, that is it, guys. So like, subscribe, and comment. What are your favorite foods? What are your favorite filling foods? Let me know below, and I will see you in the next video.